Good morning. Wake up and learn something new. Things about digital way of life. You are listening to Breakfast Wit by Westcon with Jen and H.
Back to the pod on a Friday morning, 11th of September. Welcome to the Breakfast with, of course, with my co-host, Jen Jumpson Santos. This is Breakfast with by Westcon Philippines. You can catch us also. We're streaming as well with Bounce Back Network. So at least for those people who are trying to catch up or cope up with this pandemic on how they can really work on their way to the digital way of things, well, Westcon is here for you guys. Ma'am Jan, kamusta? Kamusta linggo?
Check ko muna kung may sound tayo kasi last week we had a technical difficulty with Mr. Kokoy Clarabal, di ba? So, ayoko naman mangyari ngayon yun sa ating kagalang-galang na hukom ngayong umaga. Na ating guest. But anyway, hi, good morning everyone. Again, as usual, I'm hoping that everyone is doing fine. Dapat lahat tayo safe, and ayun again the main reason of this breakfast with that we're doing, that Weston is doing with our guests every week. Hopefully we can reach out to you, in a technical way, in a entertaining way, and at the same time, we can actually surpass this pandemic together as one. So ano tayo, ano yan, may sabihin ka, Harley, babarahin mo ako eh.
Wala kang sasabihin. Pero, well, alam naman natin, Breakfast with, we start this every Friday at 9 o'clock. And we're really thankful for those who are tuning in. And after this, after the live broadcast in our Facebook page, and of course with Bounce Back Network Philippines, you can download this episode on Spotify right after as a podcast. So you can listen to it again if you miss something, if you want to hear again us, kung hindi pa kayo sawa, pakinggan nyo ulit. But anyway, kidding aside, I want to introduce today our guest for Breakfast with. Kanina ko lang nakilala to eh. Kanina ko lang siya nakita.
Diyan lang, no?
Kanina.
Sa labasan.
Sa labas ko lang nakilala to. But kidding aside, it's been a way back knowing this person, and well, I don't want to go on with any other things to say. No other words to introduce him, but well, we have the country manager of Palo Alto Networks, Mr. Oscar Visaya. Good morning, sir. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Jen.
Yes, welcome.
Good morning, Harley. Thank you for having me, and I'm happy to be part of your initiative to. I think this is one way of creating awareness, no, as we are, living through the pandemic. And it's good to have coffee with you, by the way, and talk about witty insights on, what I'm wearing red, diba? Kasi September na eh. It's a September month, and in the
Santa Claus?
Philippines,
Santa Claus ka
yeah,
ba?
it's Christmas time in the Philippines. And sabi ko nga, you know what? This is the first time that we will ever, I think, since my lifetime, celebrate Christmas in a pandemic. Now,
Yeah.
it's interesting to know how we can do it. So, yeah, happy to be here this morning.
It's and aligned with that, sir, Okan, nabanggit mo na rin yung Pasko. Well, a friend of mine, Father Bong Bayaras, I saw him post something on Facebook. Parang syempre, there's the mass itself, and then may Christmas tree. So parang naisip nga nila, is this how yung simbang gabi natin magmumukhang? 'Di ba? Kumbaga, it's all new. But one thing na caught my attention in that post is nothing will stop Christmas. It will come.
Yeah.
It will come. Whether we are in a pandemic or what, nothing will stop Christmas. Yun lang yung
Yep.
isang maganda din. Well, the usual with Breakfast Week. It's about IT talks. It's about morning and letting the viewers or kung sino man mga nakikinig sa atin on what we really do, what we do on this industry, the IT side of things. Kasi, syempre, majority, honestly, ang medyo alam pag sinabing IT, programmer, di ba? Yan yung
Mm.
pinaka-common interest eh. Pero,
Yeah.
for what some of the people would siguro hindi nila alam or hindi ganun ka-aware is there's a lot within the IT industry, and one of that is actually security. It's something that
Yeah.
we want to talk about as well because
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
we are living now in this this phone based world or
Mm.
application world, 'di ba? Na sobrang dependent na tayo even on how we keep ourselves entertained. It's all about the applications. Uh well, being in the industry, Sir Oka, how do you see this? I mean, how do you see the world right now na tipong masyado na dependent? Even the schools right now, di ba? They started using Zooms, Google
Yeah.
Meet, and yun. How is the world changing from a physical world to a digital world?
Yeah, so first of all, no, it's really good to enjoy coffee at 9 o'clock in the morning in the confines of your home, like what we're doing now, no. And thank you, Westcon Philippines, for this coffee from Sagada. It's actually very good.
Wow, I love
Wow.
your cup, by the way, sir.
Yeah,
Napakaganda
see?
niyan.
Yeah, and I mean, feeling like it's Christmas. I'm wearing red, and talking to you guys, friends in the industry, and creating awareness, no, of what's in it for us during this pandemic, no. And I think your question is around how are we coping up? I think as an employee and as a you know uh, an ordinary
Yes.
person, no,
Hmm.
living a digital life, no. But first,
Mhm.
as an employee working from home, 6 months now, and
Oo.
it's I started I'm starting to actually like it. I was
Sanay
telling
na.
my boss, boss, I'm starting to like it. I think my team in the Philippines are starting to like it. But no, seriously, I think after 6 months, we were able to cope up with the most effective way to
Hmm.
live this, work life, no, and how we can balance it with or integrate it with our personal lives, no. And I
That's true.
think first things first, no. What is truly important during this times is your ability to integrate your work and life, and become productive in both.
Mm.
You should be able to enjoy your coffee in the morning, right? Here of Western Philippines, coming from Canada. But at the same time, you can be productive for the rest of the 8 hours or 9 hours or 10 hours. As a matter of
Yes.
fact, I think it's getting longer.
Yeah,
The work time
true.
is getting longer, but
Mm.
I think to me, I mean, the productivity is still there. And one of the reasons why we're still productive is that we have the tools, no, in our midst to be able to still connect, although virtually, because of the limitation, di ba? With our customers, first, right? As you know, we just did our cybersecurity forum, the first,
Yeah.
in about 4 or 5 years in the Philippines, right? And it's pretty successful. On the average, 200 plus attendees of the three sessions, no, where we talk about transforming network security, as the enterprise network is widening and devices are you know uh, scattered all over the place, no, in our
Yes.
work homes, in mobile, in our cars, and so on, diba? And then we also talk about cloud security, and how it is important to companies right now, and lastly, how we can actually operationalize security for our companies to be more effective at defending our organizations during this pandemic. So, which means that we're coping up. I think gradually, over the last 6 months, we were coping up, and now it's becoming really and truly productive for us to be working from home. And again, I think cybersecurity is one of the important aspects of that productivity. Now,
Definitely.
cybersecurity that does not slow down everything, di ba? Kasi
Tama.
True.
sometimes, you're secure but you cannot access your application.
Yep.
Then
Sobrang
it's not
secured.
kind of good for you, di ba? So sometimes, I see people like turning off their VPN, right? And because it's very slow, I cannot access my application, etc., then
Very.
you're exposing your companies to threats, no? And
True.
could be you are the entry point of attackers into your organization. So
Correct.
just one employee working from home can be an entry point to the whole organization.
Exactly.
As you know, diba? The threats can actually go around the organization and wreck havoc. So, yun. So, I think that's number one. Secure, but it still helps you become productive by not, slowing down applications. And the experience of employees still pretty much as if they're working from the confines of the offices.
Correct.
So, and I think, I mean, for me and for some of the customers that we have, they're
Mm-mm.
pretty productive right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's
No,
still
I
fearful, eh. Still fearful.
I think ano no, I think if you're going to agree with me, Harley and Boss Oka, no. If you notice, parang ano tayo eh, yung industry natin is considered lucky,
Mm,
no? In this sa kabila ng pandemic kasi we are able to adapt, no?
yeah,
We're able to adapt, and unfortunately for other industries na talagang there's no way for them eh. Kaya
yeah,
talaga merong nagpa-file ng bankruptcy,
Totoo.
yeah,
nagko-close shop. So, yun nga siguro isa din ng nako-consider natin dito sa industry natin is tayo kasi yung innovators,
yeah.
Mm-mm.
tayo yung kailangang magpatuloy and all. Kaya talagang maswerte na lang din. And we thank God na at least no, wala masyado na apektuhan dito sa industry natin. Yun na nga lang that equates to a lot of ano pa rin, syempre yung responsibility pa rin natin, sa sarili natin and siguro sa industriya and sa mga customers natin to really be able to fulfill our commitments. Oo,
Mm,
commitments. Yung sa sarili naman natin, sir, nabanggit mo kanina, mas humahaba yung ano natin, yung working hours natin because we're at home, 'di ba? Ang nangyayari ngayon sa mga homes natin, wala na, hindi na home, no? Na talagang office, ano na talaga siya, office
mm.
location na siya for us, which is also hindi naman din maganda para sa kalusugan natin at sa pamilya natin. So, I think yung sabi mo nga kanina, kailangan talaga yung challenge of how to balance, work and
Yeah.
life.
Mm.
Oo.
Integration, I should say.
Mm.
Yeah,
Integration.
integration, correct.
So I think the thing here is you have to integrate truly. I mean, in the past we were talking about work-life balance, integrated work-life, etc. Now is the real time for us to really execute on this. As an employee,
Totoo.
like for me, I've been in the industry for almost 30 years. Don't ask my age, but
Talaga ba? Grabe
Don't
naman.
ask my age. Gusto ko yung
I've lived,
disclaimer na yun.
I've lived an integrated work life for most of my career, no, and that's why. I mean, for me, it's even my family actually they know how I work. It's not there's not a lot of adjustment, right? But I think to some of our peers in the industry and some of the friends, right? Maybe it's a new stuff they need to adjust, but I think there's no way around it. It's either we do it or we're not gonna be productive and happy. And I think being happy is what is important during this
Yeah,
this
ano
pandemic.
daw
Yes,
eh, happiness
definitely.
daw is a state of mind. It's your choice.
Yeah, that's true. And you
Oo.
know what, Jen? I'm just looking at the data points for industries, no, during the first half of the year, ano.
Mm-mm.
And you can see there are resilient sectors, there are non-resilient sectors, di ba? And if you look at the conglomerates, the non-essential goods, the retailers, the restaurants specifically, they're heavily impacted, no. I mean, it
Yes.
ranges from negative 30% year-over-year growth to I think 200% year over year. So of course there are resilient sectors like the telcos, the essential
Yeah.
goods,
Mm-mm.
bank to some extent, no. So I mean it varies according to industry, and I think what's happening right now, as we move on to what's really going to what do we expect going forward, no? And getting feedback from our friends, our customers, is that how can they make better use of capital? Kasi ngayon they need to do more with less, eh, di ba?
Yeah.
So I think based on our survey, even during the pandemic, where we surveyed 100 executives, no, they're still saying that I think 35% said that majority of their IT budget is allocated on cybersecurity.
Mm.
That's why we're lucky because we're in this industry, right? But that budget, I think, should be best used, no? Should be optimized, no? Again, I think CFOs right now are thinking, how can we make better use of this capital? And I think this is something that probably, a lot of us, our friends, our our CISOs, etc., can think about it. So, what are the better ways of using this capital now that there's less, no, and we really have to optimize it. Yeah. So these are the kind of discussions now that
Mm.
we are doing more with less.
Yeah.
Yes.
To add
True.
to add to this, no, well, we just started a few minutes back, pero yung usapan natin sobrang bakbakan agad eh. So
You know what? It's good
ay,
when you have Sagrada coffee in your
Oh, wow.
mukhang,
so
mukhang siyang ka dyan sa...
Micah for sending this, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
But to add to
Sabi nga,
ano, hmm,
habang Harley,
hmm,
bago tayo magpatuloy, no, kasi meron lang tayong kailangan ba ang number one fan tayo na nagme-message sa akin. Hello, Sir Archie. Hello, maraming salamat sa panonood mo.
Hi,
Archie, good
Maraming
Archie.
morning.
salamat.
Pero
Good morning. Yan.
I
So,
want to add lang
yes.
doon, kanina you've been talking about the integration of the work life environment, kumbaga. Yun yung pinaka-ano natin eh. Having that in mind, 'di ba? When you look at it, since you are integrating those two entities or those two places right now, it's a way of parang kahit papaano isipin mo, each home right now is a branch.
Yeah,
Each home right now.
that's true.
It's a different perspective wherein tinitignan kasi natin when you are doing a business, okay, ito headquarters ko and then I'm putting up other branches because I have my users there. Now, your
Yeah,
users are at home. And when we talk about your users at home, you start looking at houses as branches
yeah,
because those are entry points to your headquarters. And it's
yeah,
something that when we talk about cybersecurity, it's something that we have to really plan out. Hindi naman yun yung tipong on year one yan agad eh. It's something that you will plan out 3 years, 5 years along. And that's what I
yeah,
think what Sir Oka is mentioning about the the allocation of this capital, capex, whatever it is allocated for the company. Because when I was in an end user, syempre, companies are looking at IT as an expense. But right
mm,
now, when you start looking at this, na wherein, okay, for me to progress with my business pala in this pandemic or moving forward, it has to turn into digital. And when we go digital, having this IT stuff, security man yan, e-commerce, whatever is aligned, you start looking at IT as a revenue stream because it's something that will help your business to generate more income para mag-prosper uli at tumakbo yung negosyo natin. Those are some of the things that, well, people or the reason why we are having this breakfast with is this perspective from different individuals, like, of course, myself, Miss Jen, Sir Oka, is something that you don't hear every day.
yeah.
You don't
No, I think
mm,
IT, as you said, Harley is maybe you can say it's a business enabler.
yes.
Used to be a cost center. I mean, there are different ways companies look at it, right? Even cybersecurity, right? So
Mm,
they say it's a cost center, but it's a business enabler in
exactly.
the sector. Now, again, it depends how I mean the board and the CEO see it or
Tama.
sees it.
Tama.
Yes.
But I think for IT, it's a given already, right? We have been, I think, this digital transformation to turn our companies into digital organizations has been, I think, a norm, no? A lot of at different stages, maturity of their digital transformation journey. But I think what was missing initially is the element of security transformation that comes along with that digital transformation. And then now you can count the SMEs, the SMS,
Tama.
MSMEs, the mid and the big corporations, diba? And now you talk about cost, you talk about expense. Now,
Tama.
I think if you look at data breaches, kasi, it it shows, no, that it's happening probably every day. And
Exactly.
the big ones are in the newspapers, in the news. Some others are not there, and so the need to transform cybersecurity in the way management and even employees look at it has to be transformative as well, di ba? So being a user, you have to be aware of your to do and not to do list. No? Like
Mm-hmm.
for example,
Exactly.
like in the homes, it's better if you use separate personal devices from your work device.
Yeah.
It's
At
always
True.
a
work.
good practice. No?
Mm-mm.
And I think some companies like us, we need to enroll, for example, my mobile phone, no? I need to enroll to my IT to be able to be given access. No?
Mm-mm.
And
Mm-hmm.
even in the homes, you challenge it with second factor, two-factor authentication.
Multi-factor, yeah.
And sometimes location kasi you can access information everywhere. You might be jogging and you need to respond to a customer request, but you need to access critical information about your corporate data center somewhere in the cloud or maybe
Mm-mm.
on-prem, and you're jogging, so you're not in the same location as you were before. And if you have that technology to actually check it, no,
Mm-mm.
uh,
Anywhere.
Chris, no, then he can challenge you. Are
Mm-mm.
you in like Alabang, for example? Are you in Makati or Quezon City?
Mm-mm.
No,
Mm-hmm.
these are all different ways to be protected, no, while you know um, living this truly pandemic life, sabi nga natin, no.
Tama.
And so yon. So I think COVID-19 has accelerated digital transformation as well. No? And
Yes.
It did.
The
It
homes
did.
now become a critical place to
Yes.
continue with that digital transformation. If you cannot protect employees working from home, then your digital transformation effort will actually suffer. And so I think the investment that needs to be put in place to support employees working from home, there's gonna be business outcomes. And
True.
one business outcome is that your digital transformation journey will continue, and achieve better business results, and navigate this pandemic, di ba? Kasi
Mm-mm.
digital, a lot of companies right now, you can go to restaurants, they're now allowing you to order online,
Mm-mm.
deliver,
Mm-mm.
and so forth. So all of this require digital transactions, no? And
True.
again, even just a simple restaurant, if you're actually compromised, then it could have a big effect, to your
Mm-hmm.
ecosystem. Eh. Kasi ikaw,
Yes.
restaurant ka, pero your device, you're actually talking to your supplier and so on and so forth. So, it's the mesh that is created by digital transformation and internet,
Mm-mm.
and the ecosystem, no, the supply chain, it's all interconnected right now. Eh. And
True.
I think
Digitally.
yeah, the
Yes.
system should be able to, the technology that we use, the process that is put in place, and then one thing more is the process, the governance. So for example, what do you do if some companies would challenge, yung red team era, they would
Yeah.
send email, and then
Totoo.
if one employee actually was discovered that he actually went to a compromised site, di ba? So what will you do with that employee? So some customers that I know, they would uh, they would they would be required to attend a half-day training course, no, on cybersecurity awareness, no. But that's part of governance. Eh. And I think a lot of the CISOs I talked to, they're saying that cybersecurity awareness is the way to do, no. And you should have to be very persistent of that, but it has to be coming from the top, no.
Tama. Mm-mm.
Coming from the top, so that it creates a culture of cybersecurity within the whole organization.
Organization.
So cybersecurity is
Agree.
everyone's responsibility, sabi nga natin, no.
Correct. Yeah. It's
Yeah, and
individual's
if you
responsibility.
create that culture, then I think every employee would be very aware of their responsibilities. I think their mindset will be different. They will check always before they click,
Yeah.
and then to go to a site, click an attachment and so on. And this also read down to a best practice in the way you connect to your say internet for your personal lives, right? So,
Mm-mm.
and then that employee now can help their household, no, their what do you call it, their kids, the wives or husbands,
Mm-mm.
on how to be more vigilant,
About it.
in
Yep.
terms of protecting themselves, no. So yon, it has domino effect, eh.
Tama.
That's the reason why this is very important for organizations, no. But
Yeah.
I think in the Philippines, based on our survey, that awareness is very very high, naman. So which is good.
It's good.
You're right. You're
We just
right,
have to
sir.
continue doing that, no. Yeah.
Totoo 'yun sa Pilipinas. Well, siyempre dito na muna tayo kung saan tayo talaga na napapabilang.
Mm-mm.
Filipinos are aware, but we must admit talaga marami pa rin ang nane-neglect.
Of course.
Nane-neglect ang importance of the digital transformation, and binanggit natin na yung yung individual's responsibility. So, marami pa rin
Yes.
ang sineset aside ang security.
Mm.
Akala nila parang hindi, pang ano lang
Yeah.
yan, yung mga tao lang na nasa IT, or pwedeng
Yeah.
yung
Yeah.
mga tao lang
Mm.
talaga na involved on this software or on this whatever they're using. Pero ang hindi alam ng lahat, eto viewers ha, hindi alam ng lahat yung simpleng ginagamit niyong pagpapa-deliver through Grab na inaantay ko ngayon. By the way, Grab, pakibilisan yung delivery ng breakfast namin. Yan, yung simple na ganyan na pagpapa-deliver, what else, pagbo-book,
You are part of it.
yung pakikipag-usap mo on with your friends on Zoom or
Mm-mm.
whatsoever platform that you're using. You are responsible with that. You have to be responsible, and you have to be aware that
Mm-mm.
dapat meron kang security na ini-enable,
Mm-mm.
para i-secure mo yung sarili mo, yung
Mm-mm.
laptop, yung device na
Mm-mm.
ginagamit mo and all. So it applies to everybody right now. Everybody. So kaya nga eto ang objective ng Breakfast with is to reach out to ordinary people, to not so ordinary people, to people like Sir Oka na talagang part of the Fortune 100 na
Sigarilyo
to
yun.
reach out to
Siguro.
and then seriously, it's for everybody. I mean, everybody must be aware. That's true.
Sir, pero ako I have a question on this though kasi kanina we've been talking about what do you call this? The kumbaga yung the consumers as well, kumbaga na lahat na sa bahay, nasa labas na when accessing the resources. Something that I observed within this pandemic, no. There are a lot of gadgets in a sense. Yun yung generic term, 'di ba? For such na sobrang mura na ng prices right now. I mean, having that perspective, I've seen like this whatever clone Apple Watch type na sobrang less than 2,000 pesos ata yan. So ganun kamura. So, kasi dumadami yung mga nagbabike, dumadami yung mga tumatakbo. So, syempre, andyan yung usapang fit or what, di ba? So, umuusbong tong mga gadgets na to and it's readily available to the consumers. One thing na hindi nag-suffer in this pandemic is the consumer market. Kasi
Yeah.
ang tao hindi titigil sa pagbili.
Yeah.
'Di ba?
Yeah.
Phones, kahit maglabas si Apple or si Samsung ng 100,000 phones, may bibili pa rin 'yan eh. Having said that, 'di ba? Meaning kasi the person right now is very much decorated with these gadgets, or in a sense we call it the Internet of Things, 'di ba? It's part of that. Is there a way for those items to be compromised? Kumbaga, syempre hindi nila alam eh. Hindi ganun kaalam ng mga ng masa natin. At the same
Yeah.
time, is there a way also for them to be protected?
Yeah. No, I think okay. Let's start with consumer. Right? So, I think for consumer, what I can advise is really really vigilance. So, up to date, version of software that they need to download on their devices. Be aware of the of the device that they're using. No? But for organizations, like for example, if they're using cheap IoTs, no, or specific business requirement, no, whether
Exactly.
probably operational, no, that would help them. Then I think it's very important for them to have visibility on these devices. No? And by visibility, I mean which type. Right now, kasi there are solutions where you can see, what type of IoT device, and then you can interrogate the device and ask him, do you have the right software? Is it updated, etc. No, some of the devices, like you mentioned, cost effective. No,
Oo.
um, cannot does not have any endpoint security as an example, right? And
Yes.
it has to be done somewhere. How can you protect the organization from these devices since they're connected to the internet? Threat actors can log into that device or and then wreak havoc to your organization.
Tama.
So I think the biggest initiative that we need to have in place is really visibility. We have to account for all the digital devices or organization, whether it's cheap or not, whether they have endpoint protection or not, no. And you should have a way, not only because when you have visibility, kasi you have the ano na eh, you can create policies to protect your organizations, eh, diba? So you can create policies that says na, if I found out that this device doesn't have any updated software, then
Yeah.
I'm not gonna allow it to connect to my environment. Now, the thing here is that you may have thousands of these devices in your organizations. How can you cope up with monitoring and continue assessing the risk and so on and so forth? So there has to be helpers, no? And one of them, sinasabi natin, the artificial intelligence and machine learning. I think that the only way you can get all of this done, no? The monitoring, the new technology like the likes of machine learning, no? And this is should be part of the overall security framework, no? Because it's cheap does not mean that it can't bring threats to your
Yeah.
organization. So that's for businesses, so it could be small or big businesses. That should be part of their security framework, no, to include visibility of these devices. Now again, for consumer, I think it's more vigilance, and really they have to you know because you endpoint as an example, it's good if you can buy an endpoint protection. That should be the right way to do it. But if not, then be vigilant. You know,
Mm-mm,
use of
true.
those devices.
Na-distract lang si Harley. Ganun talaga pag live. Ayan, may nade-distract siya sa audio niya. I think sa ano mo yun, sa mic mo yon, Harley. It's okay, wala na, okay na. Ganun talaga pag live, mga kaibigan.
Anyway,
Yes.
tinanggal ko. Nag-ground eh. Anyway.
Oo, nag-ground. Correct. Lapit ka na lang sa ano mo, sa mic mo. Yes.
Asan yung kape
Alright.
mo?
Hay nako, eto na nga. Because of the digital transformation. So, nagkaroon ng confusion again. Na-confuse again ang Grab natin
So it's
sa
not sabi
delivery.
mo, it's not the digital part but the physical part, eh.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Yun yung
naapektuhan
nililito.
tayo eh, no? So, ayoko namang sabihin na we're highly dependent right now on the digital part, no? So, para maapektuhan pati yung ating buong physical part. So anyway, so hopefully, yun nga, to siguro summarize what we have been discussing since 9 a.m. We just have to learn how to really balance everything. Balance in a sense that walang nane-neglect, and at the same time we practice the responsibility of each and every one of us, na yun nga, walang nane-neglect, walang na-overuse, walang na-abuse, or walang nade-distract or whatsoever, 'di ba? 'Di ba, Harley?
Yes. Definitely.
Correct, correct.
Pero before we wrap, I think, sinabi natin 30 minutes lang to again. Pero we
Early, can
already,
you speak louder? Medyo
mahina.
Oo,
yeah.
mahina ka.
Okay na?
Yes.
Mahina lang. Anyway, before we wrap this up, I want to ask lang, Sir Oka, no? Also, 'di ba? I mean, we've been used to knowing these threat actors as how the media the media would represent them as a person, like a programmer sitting at the
Mm-mm.
back of their computer, doing this hacking para sa lahat, di ba? Pero in reality, we're talking about billions and billions of devices right now all over the world.
Mm-mm.
And to be honest, for those who most likely hindi ganun ka-aware, is that we're not really just talking about people right now. These are scripts, these are bots, these are automated.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
These are attacks wherein it runs from 24/7. Hindi kumakain, hindi napapagod, hindi natutulog. So, in a
Oo.
sense, di ba, walang laban tao doon. Kasi napapagod tayo, nauubos tayo eh. Pero yung mga attackers in the internet, hindi. They continue to do what
Mm-mm.
they are programmed to do.
Yeah.
On an aspect of, well, perspective on cybersecurity, is there a way? Is there a way wherein we can really cope up to this type of behavior right now? Na in a sense na kahit matulog ang mga administrators natin dahil of course tao sila. Yan doon nga yung balance
Mm-mm.
ng work and life. We are still protected. Na even in our sleep, we know for a fact that we are protected.
Yeah. I think the security operations are going to security operations and the people behind it. So they're actually the heroes of organizations, di ba?
Exactly.
Because
True.
they're
Frontliners
the
din yan eh.
defenders of the organizations. Now the current state right now is as you may have heard from your friends and customers in in the industry is that it's really heavily manual eh. That's why nga yung survey nga natin last July and February, companies are now investing in automation. And one of the things that they're investing on is really how they can automate their security operations now. And that's actually a big way, if not the only way, to be able to defend yourselves against these bots. No, you have to be, I think, machine to machine. No, so you have to
Mm.
deploy or employ leverage machine learning and artificial intelligence to help you out. No, defend the organizations against these automated attackers. Could be
Yeah.
bot, could be an IoT device somewhere out there is in compromise. So a
Tama.
lot of these you cannot do it manually. I think effective protecting your organization. So the only way is to really embrace automation in that area. So, for example, you automate. I think terms like prevention, diba? You should prevent as much as you can, if possible, 100%. But of course, you cannot, diba?
Mm-hmm.
So, and then the rest you have to detect really, really very fast. And then, of course, the prevention you have to have great technologies. If,
Correct.
if
Yun na nga
you
eh.
can prevent, I don't want to talk about Palo Alto network. If you can prevent real time a 0-day attack, then just do it, di ba? If there are
Mm-hmm.
technologies that can help you do that, then just do it, di ba? So that means that remember the malwares right now, for example, are evolving very fast because they're being done by machines, no? So you have to pit machine against machine in that case. So for the machine to learn that this is just a small evolution of this 0-day malware that was used recently, and you prevent it in real time. You don't even need to go and bother your security operations to analyze it. So detection should
Mm-hmm.
be
Mm-hmm.
very very fast, and then once you detected, then you should be able to respond also very very quickly. So the automation in terms of the response should be there, di ba? So once it's detected, then how can you automate your process so that hindi yung mga security analysts, to some extent several people, di ba? Kasi may security operations ka, may NOC operations ka. If you want to do something on your servers, you need to talk to your server people. So you have to be able to really get the collaboration really flowing
Yes.
smoothly, And this
Mm-mm.
is when you integrate a lot of things and you automate the what you call the workflows, no? And this means that when threat is detected and needs to change on a server, as an example, then there must be an automated way. Hindi yung
Mm-mm.
tatawagan mo yung server administrator and then maybe it's on PTO and so on and so forth, di ba? So, or now if it needs something like a an approval, then you can automate it as well. You can send an email to whoever that person is. Now it's everywhere, diba? And then get him to respond to that email, no? Before a change is effected, no? So
Mm-mm.
this kind of, this is truly um,
Collaboration pa
very
rin.
important, no?
Mm-mm.
So you promote collaboration across the different stakeholders in protecting your organizations, which means the server, the desktop, in everyone else, no? Yeah, in the organization. So it becomes truly more effective, no? Way of protecting the organization. And
Yeah.
automation is key, no? The technology,
Yes.
right? But the technology can help also smoothen the process, di ba?
Mm-mm.
And so in the end, you have to be able to detect fast and then remediate fast. No, so
Correct.
the detection and the response has to be very fast. If not, the robots
Wala.
rule your organization, and when they rule it, what will happen? You can be exposed
Yes.
and you can be hacked.
And the and the long time
Already it
investment
happened
will be
in the
useless.
Philippines,
Yeah,
right?
will
It
be
just
gone.
happened in the
Correct.
Philippines. So when I talk about this, I'm so passionate about it because we can't get the machines to rule. We have to help the machines also to help fight the machines, no, the humans.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Agree. Agree.
So
Yes.
and along the way, sabi mo that's the way we can also improve the career aspirations of a security analyst who just look at the alarms, alerts,
Correct.
from
Totoo.
8 to 5 to
Oo,
10, and
hindi
then
pa ding ano eh, hindi pa ding wala talagang tao eh.
meron
So,
pa
it's
rin,
still,
oo, meron pa
meron
rin.
pa ring manual. Talagang
Oo.
kailangan lang natin ng tulong from,
Exactly,
from, yeah,
oo.
from
Eh,
the technical perspective.
oh, and ito yung security analysts now can become threat hunters, di ba? So, you can see the evolution of their career as well, no? And this brings about I think satisfaction in the job because they can now see that there is progression in what they're doing in the security operations. No, sabi ko nga, burden, bored, so many alerts, can't do it, throw away, and then the organization is breached. It boils down to, hey, you didn't see this alert. It's your responsibility. They blame the person.
Mm, mm.
But again, I
Totoo.
mean, with the average is 10,000 alerts, diba, on a daily basis. Now, organizations in the maybe other sectors like CII could be hundreds of thousands of alerts, diba? How can you cope up with this without automation? So, key is automation.
True. Correct. Kasi kalaban mo, robot eh. Dapat meron ka rin katulong na robot, di ba? But
Exactly.
hindi lang basta kailangan ipatupad mo yung bots na yan. You have
Uh,
kailangan pa rin ng human brain to
Yeah, may
really,
governance, tama. May
correct.
governance pa rin
Yes.
in what they need to do. Kaya nga sometimes sabi nga, hindi, paano yan pagka in-automate mo tapos nagkaroon ng problema? Kaya nga, again, risk-based approach pa rin even the automation, di ba? So risk-based
Exactly.
approach allows you to put in place a process. Like sinasabi ko kanina, if you need approval from an IT server administrator to approve a change that needs to be put in place in the server because
Mhm.
it's exposed, then a process to be in place, no? Ngayon, pwedeng manual yan or pwedeng automated din, di ba? So parang sinasabi natin, if it is automated, then it's good for the organization.
All right. Yep. Ang sarap kakwentuhan ni Sir Oka, no? Talagang hindi natin namalayan that we are actually reaching the 1 hour
Ganun ba?
time
Oh,
limit.
wow.
Actually, 30 minutes lang tayo kasi we don't want nga Sir Oka na
Mm-mm.
to ano naman to use up the entire day of of having the breakfast
Yeah.
with. Sabi namin 30 minutes lang para to start the day right, then at least
Oh, sige.
makabalik tayo sa trabaho natin. But then again, talking to Sir Oka is very informative, and
Thank you.
and I hope yung mga viewers din natin din maraming napulot at nagkaroon ng magandang ideas out of this. Yes. Yes. Mhm. Mhm. Yes.
Kasi may
Aha.
masarap na kape eh.
Correct. Kami wala pa ring kape. Nilalasap na lang namin yung kape mo, boss. Yes. Ay, hindi ka daw naririnig. So, tingin ko ako na muna magkasalita. Wala ka daw audio. Yes. So, I'll try. I'll try. Tingnan ko kung meron akong audio. So, if you're going to visit the Facebook page of Westcon, so we can already book their appointments. Okay, we already transformed the page of Westcon to be really to reach out actually to people. So you can already book your you can book your appointments there, and the whole team is actually readily and waiting to assist you. So also on our page, actually ako po, chine-check ko po talaga personally yung mga messages. Oo, hindi ako ganun ka-busy eh. So chine-check ko yung mga messages sa Facebook page, and actually para maka-reach out din talaga sa mga of course wanted to know more about the Westcon team and the products and the solutions that we are carrying. Also, let's use this opportunity, Harley. We're going to have a benefit concert on October 2,
I like
o, di
that.
ba? TV show kami, sir. Ano to, si Boy Abunda at Christopher Min, o, di ba? So we're going to have a benefit concert in partnership with PWCA, which is Philippine Women on Cybersecurity Alliance. So this is headed by Miss Mel Migrino. So this benefit concert is benefit of the jeepney drivers na talaga namang heavily na apektuhan talaga nitong pandemic na to, na walang naging hanap buhay and all, at may pamilya buhay, ano. So this is of course in partnership with Palo Alto Networks,
Yes.
with Four Scout and the Beyond Trust. And meron tayong bagong sponsor. We have we have Gigamon. Gigamon will be having a special participation in this concert, so watch out for that. October 2 with juries and singing live on that concert. So
Wow, I am really looking forward to this, Jen?
correct. Oo, magkita-kita
Very
tayo doon.
excited.
Although it's virtual, we will do our best to make it happen na talagang mas mag-enjoy yan lahat. At the same time, it's for the benefit eh. It's for a cause. So it's time for us to be aware, and at the same time to at least help na rin. So in our own little way. Okay. So actually on that night, on that concert, the donations will be open. So everyone that will be watching will be invited to donate and help for the benefit of the jeepney drivers. So watch out for that.
Yeah, it's a great initiative, Jen. Truly,
Yeah, sana
great one.
maging successful tayo, sir. Oo. Para magtuloy-tuloy itong ating ginagawa at makabangon tayo lahat sabay-sabay na maayos.
And
Yeah,
and
great.
Sir Oka, thank you sa team also.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you, Boss Oka. Thank
thank
you.
you, Weston. I think this is a great initiative, no, and creating awareness more than anything else. So I'm always happy to be part of this. As you know, helping our country live a more secure digital life.
Correct. Yeah. Practice our responsibility as a citizen, as a human being, kapit lang tayo, guys. And next week we'll be having in our Breakfast with Show si Jay Arroyo from NBI. So watch out for that. All right? Thank you,
Okay.
So,
everyone.
Alright, thank you, everyone.
I think may
Have
microphone
a
is
Morning.
back.
Wednesday.
Morning.
Walang
Today's
audio si
Friday morning
Marky.
in
Meron ako,
September.
Mike. Well, thank you for
Merry
the,
Christmas.
thank you for the delivery. Sir, okay nandiyan na ba
Thank
yung
you for the
breakfast mo?
delivery.
For doon sa nagpadala, thank you. Nag-asikaso, appreciate it.
Thank you, Micah. Thank you. Thank
Thanks,
you,
Mike.
Westman team. Bye.
Bye.
Sir, ka. Bye.